Okay, so I've got Sam back on the podcast today. Sam Evans was our first guest on the Dragon Sports show, actually. And we're going to have a little chinwag about the national team today because I want to say the last few months, few weeks, there's been quite a lot of developments with some of the inner workings of the FAW. There's been a bit of a manager situation with the men and women's national team. Squad announcement Monday. So, well, I'll ask you how you are first of all, Sam, and we'll pretend we haven't just recorded another show before this one. How are you, buddy?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you for having me back. How are yourself?
Yes, Sam, mate, no complaints at all. The weather has just completely turned. I don't know what it's like over in Pontevedra. Storm front's moving in, so bit of rain in the recording room at the moment. If it gets any louder, I might have to change location.
It's all right, Martin. It's like ASMR, isn't it? You know, it's soothing to
Yeah, like whale sounds or like the waves drift you off to a podcast.
lo-fi Welsh losers to chill and study to.
Chill studying, not quite relaxed, but get pent up and angry about. Anyway, there's been a lot of I don't know how much of the FAW stuff you've read, but there's I've been trying to avoid a lot of the have you seen about the interview and all this nonsense in the last couple of days. I've been trying to throw myself into trying to dig up what's been going on with the situation with because I think it was Coleman had a dream I've been saying for a few weeks, and as soon as they said it on their podcast, I was like, that's a really good point. They're like, okay, well, if you guys remember, the Euros are coming up in a few months, and technically we still don't really have a manager, or we haven't formulated a plan on what's going to happen. Is Rob Page going to take over for the tournament? Are we going to announce a new manager altogether? As Giggs said, he's stepping down, staying. Is he going to step down till the end of the tournament or something? There's still an investigation pending. Probably shouldn't talk about that because it's an ongoing police matter, and we live in a country where, well, we both live in countries plural where people are innocent till they're proven guilty. So I shouldn't really say much else about that. But what, 2 weeks before an international break, and I think this was only announced today that Rob Page was taking over, being Wednesday when we're recording this. Squad announcements Monday, and the friendlies are in 2 weeks, and the Euros are in about 3 months, maybe a little more now. So does it not seem like a bit of poor? Well, I mean, I think the whole last 12 months have been a bit poor planning for the FAW, but does this just smack of some of the issues that might be deeper rooted in the heart of the FAW? You think, mate, or
Yeah,
anything like
it's
that?
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I don't know. I not want to really throw myself deep into the whole FAW system and everything, but I mean, I've always felt like we've been quite a stable ship in this sense, you know, a steady ship. Because well, uh, what can you say? The Ryan Giggs stuff came out, and ever since then, it's been what's going on. You know, to be fair, you know, they've not spoken to the media a lot about this. There's not a lot of information. I've been trying to find some more details myself about the whole the chief exec and everything of the FAW. But you know, everything's quite tight-lipped, which is good, to be honest. It makes a nice difference, to be honest, doesn't it? To not air out your dirty laundry. But the biggest thing that concerns me is the Ryan Giggs thing. I mean, it wasn't until this international break coming up that I was, hold on a minute, is Ryan Giggs even still in a job? Like, you know, I really don't know what's going to happen. But for me, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I think now is just go with Rob Page. I think he did an excellent job towards the end of the Nations League. You know, it was seamless, wasn't it? But I'm sure that Ryan Giggs is still very much involved, although he's not allowed to be on the touchline. I'm sure he's still, you know, pulling strings to some extent. But at this point, I would say, you know, just give it to Page. You know,
I agree with you there. He's been in the setup probably a lot, for a while now, and he clearly knows the team quite well. And probably understands Giggs' philosophy, how he wants the team playing, how he can utilize that best, and sort of knows how to manage your personalities in the dressing room. Not that we're the sort of nation that has any big egos out of check or anything like that. We haven't, not like England in Euro '90, are we? So Oh no, it was Italian 90. Sorry, World Cup, not a European
And the
Championship.
French
We,
team as
we
well.
weren't born then. Leave us out of it. I'm trying to make
Yeah.
90s references when I'm from 97. Like you said with Giggs though, I mean, we can give our opinions on whether we think he should stay or go. I think that'd be fair to
For
say,
me,
regardless of the investigation. I think he should have done the honourable thing by now and stepped down, but he hasn't.
100%.
So the FAW have to push him if he's
I
not
mean,
going to jump.
I'm the same. In my head, he's already gone, And I'm shocked myself. That he hasn't done what you said, like the honourable thing. I'm shocked he hasn't stepped down. It's been, God, when was this all now? It was last year, wasn't it?
He was arrested at the start of November,
Sure.
and I don't think it. There was European game. Was there Nation Leagues game towards the end of November or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Or was it after a window of games? Because I think there was a break till next international window, so that's why nothing really happened for a while.
Well, that means it's
Oh no,
been
because Rob Page took over, didn't he, for a few
Yeah,
games?
It's been 5 months since the beginning of everything now. So that tells me that it's gone on too long for it to be something we can just brush over under the carpet and move on from. I mean, it's with us now. Do we want to be tarred with the same brush as this? And I can honestly say that it hasn't made a big difference in being gone.
No, definitely not. The other thing is the police have extended his bail to the 1st of May now. I don't think with the COVID situation they could process the case, or so there'll be some reason they couldn't happen. We probably shouldn't try and get into that. That means that sort of a few months before a tournament, you're potentially going to have a police investigation, maybe a court case, and other things to do with that. Do you want all that? Like you said, do you want all that
100%.
negative press leading into a tournament?
If he comes into the Euros and everything, then is he going to be focused? Is his main priority going to be the Welsh squad? Is he going to be able to give himself maybe it's not his fault and everything like this. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to say. But is he going to have a clear mind and have all of his energies focused on the Euros? No, definitely not. So I just think it's unfortunate, the timing of it's not nice and everything. But for me, like I say, my head is already gone. I think it would be a miracle if he came back now, especially with a new like you said, new chairman coming in for the FAW. Maybe he wants a new clean slate, new manager, and make it their own and move on like this. So I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, whether or not he's done what he's accused of doing and everything, he's brought a bit of a cloud over the Welsh squad, really. And reading about Wales in the newspapers in Spain for this reason is not what you want. So I don't know. For me, I'd be very happy to see that Page was given the job on a permanent basis, to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard. Well, I've seen what some of the fans are trying to say on Twitter as to who they want. A lot of people backing Coleman to maybe get a job back. I don't think that's a direction we need to. I'll always love and respect Chris Coleman for what he did for the national team. Made a country almost dream again about football. But with the yeah,
I don't know,
that was.
I don't know.
I don't think it's be a good move at all. We need someone who's going to try and take this young squad into the future,
100%.
not someone who's going to bring old tactics back, anything like that.
Exactly. We've got these young players coming through now: Nico Williams, David Brooks, Rabbi Matondo. All these players. Nostalgia isn't what they need,
Yeah.
And I'm not. That's not me saying that Coleman's past it or anything like this. I mean, no one loves Cookie more than us, I think, to be honest. But I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I mean, it tugs on your heartstrings a bit, doesn't it?
Really does.
I'm not going to lie. If he got put into if I woke up and saw that news story, I'd smile, But then I'd get over the initial, the memories and everything, and I'd think, oh, I don't know. I don't see I think Page is the man for the job currently. He's shown that he can do it at the level that we are at, and well, he's going to be in charge for these first World Cup qualifiers. So let's see how he does. It could all be riding on this. If he performs well in these first few games for the qualifying campaign, perhaps that's what the FAW is waiting to see. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's a landmine at the moment. You've got to be really careful what you say, what you don't say, and who you say it to. So, yeah, I don't know. But for me, the way I see it is that, moving forward, I think I just don't see gigs attached to us.
No, definitely not. And like you said, with the way Page has shown he can get the players performing at this level, and as well, you don't want to bring a new manager in a couple of months before the tournament, him still figuring out going into said tournament what his best squad is, and then you sort of experimenting throughout 3 group games, and you're lucky to pick up a point in one of them. Especially when we've sort of worked so hard in the last few years, just clamouring to try and actually qualify for something, so we have some footy to watch in the summer. Yeah, if it's not Rob Page leading Wales at the tournament, I don't think we do well under gigs. I think all the negative press would affect us as well, because you're going to have those whispers as well around the 100%. Exactly.
At the end of every game, he would be getting asked questions he doesn't want. You could argue that deflects attention away from the team if the results aren't what we want and stuff, and that could be good in that sense. But realistically, I don't think there's anybody in the world at the moment who thinks that Ryan Giggs is coming back to the Welsh squad.
There's about 20%-ish people on a Twitter poll I saw, but I don't know how many of them are like living in their mum's basement, barely coming out for sun. So
the problem with these polls is anybody can respond to it. If I want to go and do a poll on who's going to be the next England manager, I can go and do it, can I?
Yeah, exactly. And Boris Johnson will probably come up quite high for that. So but it's just, I think going back to something you said before, it does with maybe the FAW wanting to clear house a bit. It does seem like they're doing that somewhat at the moment, because there's been the whole Jonathan Ford situation. If anyone listening hasn't seen any of this, I don't know how you've managed to miss this news. So the chief executive of the FAW, Jonathan Ford, said he's stepping down at the end of the month. I think the 22nd of March. I'm not entirely sure of the date, but that was following a vote of no confidence. That was by the FAW Council. He was put on gardening leave, whatever the hell that is, quite frankly. A month or 2 ago, I saw that term knocking about in the press, and I still, for the life of me, I imagine. Do you know the term gardening in cricket?
No.
Where around the wicket, so where the stumps are on the pitch, it gets sort of quite dusty and mucky, and you have a lot of divots. When the batsman in between balls is like tapping the ground to try and flatten the wicket out, because if it bounces off a weird ditch and like nicks an edge or something, you don't really want. So that's gardening.
Bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, so I don't really understand what a gardening leave is. Maybe they were
just
punishing him by watering all the plants in the office or something. Like maybe he's very green fingered. Who knows?
He needs to learn responsibility again. So he can only come back when his plant is thriving.
But it just seems a really situation to me, because the men's team sort of Page is taken over, but we're sort of like a split between a divorced family. It feels like my childhood at the minute. You've got one parent pulling one way, and then sort of Daddy Giggs is never there, sort of just misting away into the background. Don't know if he's coming back or not. That's pending an investigation as well, so who knows when that's going to happen. No manager for the women's team, with Jane Ledlow stepping down, and there's no replacement announced yet.
Yeah.
And then there's this going on with the chief exec, who I believe Jonathan Ford's been in that post since 2009, or at least he's been involved in the FAW setup since at least 2009. But if he has been in that role for over 12 years now, wouldn't it, ish? Like, what on earth is going on? It seems like all the stability that was there for quite a while in the FAW, probably that was the springboard for this recent success we've had, that all seems to be sort of withering away at the foundations, and just hope that doesn't disrupt the actual football on the pitch too much. That's one of the main hopes.
Oh yeah, I mean, new campaign, new FAW, you could say, with the Euros around the corner, and the qualifiers for the World Cup starting next week, I think it is, isn't it? So that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe like we've said, it's a bit of gardening or housekeeping, and just putting their ducks in a row, you know, getting all their stuff in order and preparing for the future and what's to come. But it could very well be that everything's gone to pot, and you know the office is on fire and everyone's running around screaming. Who knows? But it's disconcerting at the least, I would say. Having read that he faced a vote of no confidence immediately, I was like, oof, you know, what's going on here then?
Yeah, vote of confidence says it all in the title, doesn't it? Really. Yeah. You said we've got the games coming up. The Belgium game's actually 2 weeks today. So, oh man, that'll probably be. I have to get Randolph to switch what day we record Friday Night Sports Talk on, 'cause I'm not missing bloody Wales Belgium.
I'm
We've got that on the.
excited.
Yeah, mate. Who
I'm
has a
dead
better
excited.
record than we do against the Belgians in like the last
Honestly,
5-10 years?
I can see us doing a number on him. I really can. I know this is like, you know, blind ambition or whatever, but maybe it's a byproduct of having watched Liverpool for the past 3 months. But I'm just so ready for something good to happen. You know, I just think it seems to be that all of our top players are all coming into form at the same time. It's looking so promising from their performance on club level. I mean, Kiefer Moore is going to pass 20 goals this season in the Championship. It's unbelievable how well he's doing. Harry Wilson and him linking up so well. I'd love to see that in the Welsh squad. You know, maybe maybe we won't beat Belgium, but smaller teams that we're going to come up against, I can see Harry Wilson and Kiefer Moore being like a really strong partnership for us in there. I'm excited to see it.
Definitely, mate. We've got those 3 games then, because the international break's in about 2 weeks. So it's Belgium first on the Wednesday, friendly against Mexico on the Saturday, because we just love
What
chucking
is
friendly
that? Yeah.
games in the. I mean, I've heard a lot of people making the argument, okay, that's where you play your fringe players just to get them the match fitness, and then if you have a few standout performers, then you can pepper them in at will. But how often does that happen? I find, like the USA game, for example.
Yeah. Or the
I wouldn't
England
say
game
we,
even.
yeah, exactly. We're either getting battered or we're sort of struggling to stay in the game, looking like we're sort of treading water a bit, and then it sort of plays out a boring 0-0, and you don't really learn anything apart from, yeah, we can sit 11 behind the ball, counter attack, and put a few shots into Rose Ed every now and then.
Yeah.
But like you said, well, then it's Czech Republic on the Tuesday after. So, that's somewhat friendly in the middle of there. Great. Let's have a load of injuries come up. But
I mean,
load of players are coming into
Cookie never
form.
played.
So,
Yeah, Cookie never played friendlies, did he?
no,
And look how that ended up for us. I don't know. I'm not one to, to knock Wales playing or getting a chance to watch Wales play or anything, but just at the moment, it just seems really short-sighted to to put that Mexico game in there. No one's talking about it. No one's hyped up. I mean, with the USA game, it was the same. With the England game, of course, it's in England. It's against England, so people are going to watch it. But I don't know. It just seems bizarre. It seems bizarre. Everyone's going to be knackered as it is, and surely we would benefit from having at least something of a break in there. So I don't know.
yeah, just benefit from the extra recovery day. Or Elena's just popped in. There we go.
I just remarked him. Yeah, just find over. Just sorry. I don't know. It seems mad, doesn't it? Just friendlies.
Yeah, mate,
it's not necessary. I love watching Wales. I watch Wales play any game, any time, whatever. But it just seems unnecessary. It's the only word I can put on it.
Seems a bit pointless, but you touched on a few of the star players coming into form. That's bang on. It's been so good to see it. Does yeah, you said all on the last show something about all the ducks. Oh no, is this how all the ducks are coming into a row? It does seem like all the stars are aligning with like Bale, Moore. Should we have a chat about some of the players who we think have been standing out for us so far?
Sure. I mean, for me, the obvious one is Kiefer Moore. Kiefer Moore, 16 goals this season. 16 goals, 2 assists.
Fantastic return.
Unbelievable. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy seeing a big man up top as well,
Proper old school target, man.
I enjoy it so much. And at the end of the day, we know who we are. With the Welsh squad, I mean, a player like this, is exactly what we've needed to balance, against the young and fast sort of wingers and number 10s and stuff that we've got coming through. I love watching Kiefer Moore play. I love it. All elbows, all aggression. It's great to see. And like I said, I think he's going to score over 20 goals in the championship this season. When was the last time we went into a competition or a qualifying campaign with a striker on 20 goals?
I can't plot one off the top of my head. For Cardiff City as well. I mentioned a stat line a couple of weeks ago because he scored 13 or 14 at that time, and he was the first player since, I think, Jay Bothroyd, which was like over 12 or 13 years ago for Cardiff City, to score more than 12 goals in a season, which just shows like how much they struggle not having that. But I think Wales play better when we have a focal point or a target man up top. We really did well when we'd start Vokes when he was a bit younger and he could play a bit more. We seemed a much different team with him up top. We even sometimes when we've had mate, John. Even Earnshaw would have really good games up top on his own. Like you just have, I think especially like you said with those 10s and the wingers, sort of the quicker, more technically gifted players, he brings them into the game a lot more. Sort of being a target man, his hold up play is so good. Get stuck in as well, like you said, all knees and elbows, get proper big old bastard. It's exactly what he needs.
Did you see his penalty against Bournemouth?
Yeah, mate.
A beauty, man.
That's the thing as well. We've got a few spot kick takers as well. So if it does ever come to that in tournament football, we've got not just Bale and Ramsey, maybe Allen who are going to take one. We've got a striker who can tuck a penalty in, a few wingers who are decent set piece takers and that, good passes in the defence. If
I was Pagey,
lining up really nicely.
Yeah, mate, if I was Pagey, I'd be telling everyone, right, go down in the box, go on. We want to see Kiefer do it again, go on.
Great, mate. It's just so good. He's playing with a real confidence, I think. I don't watch Cardiff much, but a few games I have managed to stream him, watching. He seems to be playing a bit more. No, he didn't look himself under Neil Harris, I think. I think you said the last show we did, he drained the life out of him. Yeah. But he's really come into himself under McCarthy, and I think McCarthy just knows how to utilise him as sort of the big hold-up man he is, and get his rewards out of it now.
Well, it's Mick McCarthy's millionth job, isn't it? So he knows a thing or two by now, isn't it? You know who else has really impressed me recently, who I'm really excited about? Connor Roberts.
Yes. I feel like he's been fantastic.
I feel like he's a forgotten man with the emergence of Nico Williams and everything. But Connor Roberts this year, especially in the past 2-3 weeks, has been unbelievable. He's scored 2 winning goals as well. He's just a machine. The way he runs, he doesn't stop. He just keeps going and going and going. And I would love to see him get a chance.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what his stats are this season, but he's been chipping in with quite a lot of assists as well.
He's got 4 goals and 5 assists this season. He scored against Stoke in the last couple of minutes, I think, didn't he, to snatch it for Swansea, and he scored against Forest as well. Yeah. I think it was a header, and it was a hell of a header as well that he scored. But he's a complete game changer at the moment, and if he could do that for us against the teams like the Czech Republic and teams like this, where we've got a good fighting chance, he could make a massive difference. I'd love to see him starting a right back and see Nico Williams further up the field.
Yeah, I think a couple of times when Nico's played, he's come on as like a sort of wing forward as opposed to a sort of full-back, wing-back.
Watching him play for Liverpool, he does get caught out very, very often, going too far up the pitch, and it makes me wonder, why not just leave him there? Because his delivery is sweet.
Oh yeah.
He's got a lot of potential going forward. He can take his man. So why would you not want Connor Roberts in the team at the moment? He's dragged Swansea with him in some games, with his work rate and his energy, and like I said, the couple of goals he's scored recently to win the game. So I really hope he gets a chance, because I like to think of Wales as a team really where you get in on your performance and how well you're doing and everything. And if it is that way, then Connor Roberts has to be in the team, because Nico Williams has only played like 70 minutes of football in all season, really.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be starting Connor Roberts. I should have thought about this actually. Thought who should have done like a little starting lineup thing for the Belgian game. That could have been a bit of a laugh, but he's really thriving under Steve Cooper in this sort of five at the back system. I think sometimes when he played in a back four, maybe a bit like Nico Williams, he could get caught out defensively. And I think when he was a bit low on confidence, making a few mistakes, it's a confidence game, isn't it? It affects your game so much more than a lot of fans realise, I think. So now he's got that confidence in by having a really good sort of 2/3, 3/4 of a season run. Probably ironed out a lot of the mistakes in his game, but he's having that forward product like that. He had a so when he came into the Wales side, I think he scored a free kick or he scored a goal against the Irish, and then he'd had a few assists. He's had some really nice creative play.
Yeah, it was always
That
the
sort
biggest
of went away,
criticism
and
of
then he
him.
was a bit
Yeah,
sort of average performances. Nothing to criticise, but nothing stand out. And then it
that's
dipped a
yeah.
bit, but now it's sort of going back up again, and we're seeing that creative element coming out of him again. That's great to see.
Yeah, it was always the criticism that people had of him was his end product wasn't there. You know, he'd get the ball to the edge of the box, and it's like, well, what now? You know, and he was a solid 6, 7 out of 10 every game. You know, which is good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But you know, with someone exciting like Nico Williams, he quite probably you could argue quite rightly, lost his place. But now the way he's performing for Swansea, how good is it as well to be able to say that the players that are informing everything, they're playing for the Welsh clubs and stuff. It's excellent to see.
Really is. Just gives you a bit more of a sense of pride in the how the boys are doing it. For a fan of the clubs as well, it must be really nice to see Welsh internationals playing and playing really well for your team and giving you the extra leg up. Like, I think for some of them, Swansea have always been good at the youth recruitment and having that youth system bringing players through. I don't necessarily think Cardiff are anywhere near that standards.
No, Cardiff have had lots of troubles in the past with their youth system, haven't they?
Yeah, so maybe if they could do something to do that, that might help the production line a bit more. But you just want it's just good to see young Welsh. It's good to see Welsh players of any age playing in sort of any tier of football that's professional, putting in good performances, any turn. Like you said, they'll get in there on merit, hopefully. I think Rob Page is that sort of manager like Coleman was, like Speed was, where you don't just pick players based on name value, you pick them on performance and how they gel with a squad as a whole unit, 'cause that's what it is at the end of the day. You can't have all the different egos and that battling in the dressing room. You've seen England teams, France teams, Germany teams, Brazil teams, any big nation fall on their arse because of those big issues in the dressing room. But yeah, I think the other player I wanted to bring up while I had you because last time Bale was in a bit of a pickle, wasn't he? Last time we spoke, and you one of the few videos that we've done that's had YouTube views was this one, the little clip we did about Gareth Bale, and it got quite a few dislikes, and I thought that was unfair because, yeah, no, people on YouTube are just sad little turds, aren't they? Get a life. So yeah, I just wanted to vindicate you for what you said about Gareth Bale last episode. Basically, that give him a run of games, let him get some confidence in his legs, he will find his form again. What is it? 6 in his last 6 or 7 now?
Something like this. He scored he scored 2 braces recently, isn't he? He scored 2 against Burnley, 2 against Palace. He looks a different player, doesn't he? And it's exactly what we were talking about as well. He's sort of, although he's starting on, as a wide play, you can see how his game's evolved, and he's drifting into the middle. He's lurking on that back post, and he's scoring poachers' goals. And I love it. I love to see it. And you can see the drive in him. I can't remember who it was. He scored the header. I think it was Palace. He scored this header where you can see the drive in him. The way he travels from the back post to get in front of his marker. The drive, the determination stuff. It's exactly what we were talking about. I've seen him have a run of games, give him a chance to mature into the role that he's got to play now. People forget that he played Premier League football, but he played Premier League football 5 years ago. Now that I don't think anybody would argue that we're watching the same Premier League we were watching 5 years ago. Oh, no. So it takes time. It's a shame that it's taken so long, and I think of course he'll have to shoulder some of the blame for that and everything. But the minute he's got a good run of games, he's formed a great partnership with Harry Kane and Son. So I'm just lovely. I'm really happy to see him playing the way he is. I really wanted to, and you said exactly the same. I really wanted to see him creeping inside more and adapting that more poacher's style, just being a bit more of a fox in the box, and he's done it, and he's scoring, and he's going to keep scoring. I think I back him to keep going until the end of the season like this, and it could be huge for Spurs. No, I mean they've got Man City in the League Cup final coming up soon. They're still in the Europa League. I think they've got Dynamo Zagreb coming up.
I think so, yeah. Kiev.
Dynamo Kiev or one of the Dynamos. Not the one from Bradford, but but yeah, I think he's playing about 70 minutes a game at the moment. He's averaging around 70 minutes per game, which is amazing news for us as Wales fans, because that means he's playing a good majority of the game. He's scoring, he's assisting. It's exactly what we want to see, isn't it?
Definitely, mate. Like anytime you have that talisman in your team, when he plays well, you play well. And on the field, like you've got Gareth Bale on the team sheet, he's going to draw 2 people away from somewhere. You're going to have to put extra eyes on him or something. Then it leaves spaces for Brooks, James, Moore, Wilson, whoever's playing in and around them to get him behind. The main thing I've noticed, apart from what you said he has, it seems sometimes like him and Kane are playing as a 2 for Spurs when they're in the middle, sort of looking for headers. But the main thing I've noticed, he seems to be playing with that confidence he had before those spells where he was out with sort of constant reoccurring injuries. Like he's not backing out headers and tackles. He's breaking into a full sprint, chasing the ball. He looks a bit more confident in his footwork. His aerial springs getting back up to what it is, what they call it. I think they just call it spring, don't you? Or you can jump. I don't fucking know. I didn't do very much training. Base jump. His aerial ability is getting back to it. He's just, any player when you get to that level, you need confidence in your ability when you can just turn a player on a sixpence and get past him and curl one into the top corner. And he's getting back to that now, and it's perfect timing for us and for Tottenham. And it's great
as well.
To see.
Another thing we said as well is that he of that ball playing ability he has to pick a pass from miles away. Did you see that assist he had for Harry Kane's goal against Burnley? I think it was unbelievable. What a ball! And again, that goes into
Kane are putting a really nice partnership together. They're setting each other up as well, constantly.
It's not something I never thought about before, but they're 2 players that seem to be really complement each other. Because Harry Kane, to his credit, is not one of these players that won't drop back a bit to create, instead of just playing a typical number 9 role. So, it's good.
Is the podcast just sound or video as well? Because someone might be.
It's just sound, I think.
Okay, ask it just in case.
Is it just sound, Martin?
Yeah, I do stick up on YouTube afterwards, so it doesn't matter.
Well, just go past. It's all right.
Don't worry, it's fine. Honestly,
I want to be in the video. Can you maybe turn?
I'm probably not even going to... Do you know what the funny thing is? I'm probably not even going to edit this bit out.
You just said it out, Eleanor. Yeah? It's not live, you just said it out. Okay. You're making a big deal out of it now.
Okay. Because I'm wearing my PJs.
It's fine. It's all right. It's only a penguin. It's not like you've got anything really explicit on, or...
Right.
It's not like white power. No, I mean, probably won't even edit that out, to be honest with you. I'm lazy.
What do you think about Dan James, Martin? Dan James
was the final player I had on my list, actually.
He's played in their last 4 games, hasn't he?
He's been doing brilliantly. He's been finding the net again.
The United fans hate him, and I can't get my head around it.
Me neither. I've been trying to ask Jack why they're not that much. I think it's the end product from him a bit, but when any young player has that big money move to big club, they're almost expected to break into a team instantly, and then, you're still going to be here forever. No, you're never going to be that. He had a good run when he first joined. I think he scored his debut on his second game, and then he had maybe 2 or 3 goals in the first 5, 6, 7, 8 games, something like that. Then he was out of the team for ages, and then he was on the fringes, and he wasn't really playing. Now he's having same with Bale. Now he's having a run of games again. He's getting back into the side. He's having a bit more confidence in his ability. He's always going to be in there for his pace. That's always what he's going to be mainly known for. But I think he's shown a bit more now. Sort of his vision, his ability to get in behind, look for the runs, when to sort of angle in behind the defenders, and he's always going to create space on the pitch. And just having someone like Dan James, for me, it's like having Reece Summit on the rugby pitch at the minute. You're always going to back him in a foot race against a
Yeah,
defender, and having someone like that on the pitch, it was a bit like what Bale probably like a few years ago. Maybe he's lost that yard of pace. So he might be getting it back now. Doesn't seem any slower at the minute, does he, for Spurs? But James, like, you're going to need against teams in the Euros that are going to play sort of on the counter attack or sort of play possession football. You can easily exploit them and get in behind.
100%. I'd back Dan James to be a big player for us in this qualifying tournament, qualifying campaign coming up. I can see him being a big deal if he can get minutes under his belt for United. Just get his confidence back, because he was shaken, I think, by not playing well when he was playing, but barely playing at all. So I think he was. But hopefully, he scored against Newcastle, didn't he? Not too long ago. Like I said, I think he started the past 4 games. One of those games was a 2-0 derby win against Man City. So yeah, hopefully, I think he could be a big difference maker for us as well. What about Rambo? I don't know much about Rambo at the moment. I know that he's playing. He's averaging around 70 minutes, similar to Bale at the moment. He's got I think 5 assists for the season in the Serie A, which is decent returns to the amount of football he's played.
Yeah, I've noticed him starting a bit more, maybe since the end of January, start of February. I think I didn't watch was it Porto Juve game last night?
Yeah, it was a bit of a mad one, wasn't it?
Apparently, he had a decent game. I think they went out on away goals, didn't they? But he had a decent game, apparently, aside from that. So I don't know if he set a goal up or something. I think he has scored maybe once in the last couple of months, but he is sort of chipping in with assists. And I think, again, with Bale, he's just found a bit of favour with his manager. I don't know what Pirlo had against him when he came in.
I don't know, because
Pirlo was it Allegri in before? And Allegri quite liked him. Was he the one that bought it? It was Allegri that bought him in, I think.
Well, this is his 3rd manager now. Allegri brought him in, I think, and then he had Sarri, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, that was it. Sarri went after he finished with Chelsea, didn't he?
Yeah, Sarri didn't take much of a fancy to him, and Pirlo came along. And Pirlo sort of promised him minutes, as far as I'm aware, and he's not played, but he's not getting 90 minutes under his belt. But we all know what Aaron Ramsey's like as well. At the same time, I wouldn't play Aaron Ramsey for 90 minutes week in, week out with his injury record. No. But he's fit at the moment, it seems, and so is Gareth Bale. They're both playing a decent amount of football. They're both putting in a decent returns. You've got Dan James starting his past 4 games. You've got Kiefer Moore with 16 goals, Harry Wilson with 9 assists, and everything. It's good times are coming.
Definitely, mate. And you look at the injuries compared to this time last year as well. We had no Joe Allen. Bale wasn't playing at all, and he was just coming back from another knee thing, I think. Same with Ramsey. I think he was battling the injuries a bit, so we were sort of no midfield, sort of no spine in the midfield at least, maybe missing your focal point up top. Kiefer Moore was looking a bit devoid of confidence. It's just, if we could sort of goalkeeper out for the summer, we'd be laughing, weren't we?
Right. Who plays alongside Joe Allen in the midfield for you, do you reckon? It's a difficult proposition because Joe Allen's been out for so long. Obviously, he goes back into the team straight away. I don't think anybody would argue against that. But he's been out for so long. I don't know.
For me, it depends which way you want the midfield. Exactly. I assume you play the midfield trio. It depends if you're having sort of like the Liverpool, you call it a V because you have the one pivot at the bottom.
The holding mid. 6, yeah.
Or it depends if you want a 10, sort of playing in behind the... depending on the game, like Italy, for example, I would not be playing with a number 10. You want Ampadu sitting and then Ramsey and Allen in front of him. But maybe I don't know, would we want to go and attack Turkey? Maybe in the Mexico game, for example, you'd probably play maybe Allen and Ampadu sitting, and then maybe if you had to rest Ramsey, put Brooks in as a 10, or maybe try Wilson in as a 10, something like that.
Well, yeah,
There's a few options though. That's my
great
main thing I'm happy
yeah.
about. You've exactly this problem to have, isn't it? The squad depth. It's just nice to be going into the tournament a bit more confident. I just hope we can string a few good results together. Even if we can get a point against Belgium in 2 weeks, I'd take that, especially away. And then
Who wouldn't?
Czech Republic should be a very winnable game. I think that's one of the ones Kiefer Moore could thrive in, sort of those
I agree.
mid-level sort of Eastern European nations. I think they're the sort of games where he can get away with a little bit more, get stuck in, because the players are a bit more used to it. And
it's the kind of game. It's the kind of game we would lose 2 years ago. But after that Nations League campaign, seeing us grind out 1-0 against Finland, against who was the other team? Bulgaria. Seeing us grind out 1-0 against this type of team, I think puts us in good stead. So it's exciting times. I think especially the depth for me, which is the most exciting, is in the centre of the park. Because I didn't even think about Ampadu for some reason. I was thinking of him as a centre. He's playing as a centre back at the moment for Sheffield United, isn't he?
Yeah.
But you're right. I think Ampadu holding for us, Joe Allen and Aaron Ramsey. That's a bloody strong midfield three. That, and then you think you've got Joe Morel on the bench. Will Vaulks, does Will Vaulks play? He plays as a left back at the moment though for Cardiff, doesn't he? Or am I imagining this?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, mate. He scored a few screamers though.
Yeah.
You can do that cute little flip celebration. So I just put him in there for like a replacement for the Joe Ledley dance.
There you go. Yeah, Will Vaulks I would have on the bench without a doubt. Who else is there in the mid that we've played recently? Oh God, I can't remember.
There's a couple of young players like Levitt had to go. Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Was he on? Is he? I think he's on City's books, but they loan him out.
Yeah,
is that the right player?
All over the place. Yeah.
Is it QPR this season or was that last season?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's a good question. I haven't been keeping tabs on him.
I might be getting the wrong player altogether here. I completely washed my mind on that actually.
But it's good, isn't it? There's so many we can't.
It's good to have those options in the middle though, because forever it was like, we've got Volks holding, and if Allen's injured, it's like, okay, Ashley Williams fancy stepping into the middle, mate. But these are the problems you want to be having going into a tournament.
100%. It's happy days for me, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling positive. Maybe naively so, or maybe just wishful thinking, but I think we'll hold our own at the very least. I don't see us getting battered by. If we get battered by Belgium, I mean, it's a win-win game for us, Belgium. We get battered by Belgium, well, it's Belgium. If we don't go, wow, it's Belgium, and we've got a result against them, But teams like Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, sorry. Oh God! Is that?
I was going to say you started another revolution there, mate. You want to be careful. I did that in my notes the other day when I was writing this out. I wrote Czechoslovakia, and I was like, "Wait, no, I probably shouldn't still call it that after what's gone on."
The Czech Republic. Who else is in our qualifying group for the World Cup?
Estonia
and
Belarus.
And Belarus, yeah. I mean, winnable. All of them very, very winnable, especially with the form we're in. So here's to hoping. Don't break our hearts, Wales.
Hoping for some away days as well when circumstances dictate so. That would be very nice.
Would be very nice indeed, yeah.